This is one of the most famous encounters with entities on DMT from this guy right here, Terence McKenna. I think this was the first time Terence did 3 tokes of DMT, which he ended up calling the breakthrough dose. Reason being, as he was about to find out, after that 3rd toke, you end up breaking through into an entirely different reality. So 30 seconds after having this 3rd toke, he began to hear a hum, which started rising in intensity. Its tone kept increasing more and more until suddenly McKenna was launched out of this reality and into what he called hyperspace, which is very difficult to explain if you haven't been there, but it's basically like a higher dimension or something along those lines. Eventually, he was transported inside a dome, which he said felt like it was hidden deep underground. As it turns out, this is a very common place that people go to during breakthroughs called the DMT Dome. What shocked Terence about this place, though, was the fact that there are entities inside it. He called these beings the machine elves, but he also said it's basically impossible to describe what they actually looked like, especially as they were constantly transforming. As soon as Terence arrived inside the dome, these machine elves came up to speak with him, but the way they communicated wasn't like anything that he'd ever experienced before. They communicated with a visible language, so instead of speaking with sounds, they would speak objects into existence, and these objects were blowing McKenna's mind. He said that they'd literally be impossible for him to even imagine while sober, and he actually became afraid that he was going to die in shock from just looking at them. He tried to look away, but the machine elves told him to calm down and keep watching what they were doing, and that's when things started to get a bit more chaotic. The objects turned into entities themselves, and then these entities would speak more objects into existence, and it just kept repeating like that over and over. They then began jumping inside his body and disappearing, and although he sensed that these beings liked him, he also felt like he needed to be careful around them. Now, I'm not 100% sure why he felt like this. It could be that, like children, they didn't know the extent of their own power, but he also said that he felt like this dome was created by these beings as a place to reassure humans, and that there was something watching him inside it. He believed that this was some kind of interdimensional playpen, and what's crazy is that the objects the machine elves were showing him, he reckons were their form of toys. What he thought the purpose of this place was is kind of confusing. He didn't really get into it, but at the very least you can tell like this experience felt extremely real to him. I haven't made this video to say whether I believe what he went through is real or whatever, and I know it's definitely not one of the craziest trip reports out there, but it's definitely one of the most famous, encounters with DMT entities, and the machine elves are experienced by a lot of people. So yeah, I thought I'd share it.